Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs here. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. As you can see, I've got a copy of the new annual catalogue on my desk, and of course a new annual catalogue always means the introduction of 5 new in colours. So that's the purpose of my video today, to just introduce you to the 5 new colours that we get to enjoy for the next 2 years. So I'm just going to put the catalogue to one side. Plenty of time to explore that at other times. But our new colours are Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent, Polished Pink, Evening Evergreen and Pale Papaya. So that's the cardstock, and as you would expect they are obviously available in ink pads, which I will share with you in a moment. Also available in Stampin' Right markers, stamping blends as a combination of light and dark, designer series paper. There's 40 sheets of 6x6 paper in the pack, and there are 4 different designs. So let's just have a look at those together. So this is the polished pink. Ping that over. Soft succulent. Great background colours, or papers rather. Pale papaya. Fresh freesia. And evening evergreen. I probably should say at this point that at some point I'm going to be calling Fresh Freesia Fresh Fuchsia. I've got fuchsias on the brain. I have no idea why, but I keep catching myself out, so please bear with me. I'm just getting my flowers mixed up, but it's Fresh Freesia, not Fresh Fuchsia. There you go. Also available are some reels of ribbon in each of the colours. It probably won't surprise you that I haven't bought the ribbon. Bows not really being being a little bit above my capability, but beautiful ribbon, I have to say. I might just buy 1 or 2 at some point to just have a play with that. The worst case scenario is that I can use it to tie parcels up, but I thought I'd concentrate on things that I can actually use. Now, as you can see, I've used an awful lot of these already. I won't have the full packet to share with you until I get my next order, but these are the in colour jewels, and they're really shimmery, so they appeal to me. Of course they do, but they're lovely, and they were actually in 2 sizes. There's the smaller version here and a larger one there. What I was particularly excited about was the fact that this year we have some vellum paper, which is also in the new in colours. It comes in 12x12 pack, and there's 2 sheets of each colour. For ease, and so that I didn't damage, that's the word I'm looking for, damage the whole sheet, I've cut these, I've cut them up into a 6x6 size just to share these with you. So again, we've got Fresh Freesia, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Polished Pink and Pale Papaya. Now, I'm just going to stand up. I'm not sure if it's yet. I think you're going to get that. You can see each sheet has got this lovely shimmery finish to it, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to really enjoy using this, I know, and I've already been working on a project this week for an upcoming video, so I look forward to sharing that with you. There we go. Looks even better, not on camera, but when you're actually got it on your work surface to work with. But yeah, very excited about that. So finally, we obviously have the ink pads. So we've got Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Polished Pink, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya. I'm going to come back to the ink pads. It's probably something that you, if you've been watching me for a while, have seen me do this before, but there's always people that have just discovered stamping, so I just want to tell you a couple of helpful, I'll give you a couple of helpful tips about our stamping pads, but I'm going to do that right at the end in case I get ink over myself. It's always a possibility. Now, I just thought that as I'm doing a video, it's kind of a bit boring just to listen to me chatting away without doing any crafting, so I thought I'd do a really simple card, very much based on a card that I made to send out my annual catalogues to my customers, but I've just changed it up a little bit so that I can use not only the ink but also a piece of the designer series paper. So as I say, this is simple stamping, nothing complicated whatsoever. My base card is my usual size, 8 by 6, scored at 4 on the long side. I'm going to burnish that edge. My piece of designer series paper, which is in soft succulent, it's obviously going to be another problem for me, succulent, 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I've got my piece of, I've got Whisper White here, but it will be basic white now, and that is cut at 3.5 by 4.5. I will add, as I have started to do, a blog post to accompany this video, so I'll put the metric measurements in that. Now, you could just leave your piece of card where we're going to do our stamping, you could just leave that plain, but I thought I would just step it up a little bit with the detailed trio punch, and I'm literally just going to round off the corners. So as you put your card in to round your corners off, make sure that you put the pressure in the middle. That way you get a really nice clean cut with your punch, and no damage to the card. I've noticed that if I punch too near the edge, I get a little mark on my card sometimes. So just make sure that you put the pressure right in the middle of your punch. So that's all I'm going to do. I just thought I'd make it just look a little bit prettier. Obviously with this punch you could add some little detail here, and that would cut out. Why don't we do that? See, I struggle to keep things simple, don't I? But there you go. It makes sense. If it's on the desk, we might as well use it. So there we go. Not only got rounded corners, I've got pretty edges as well now, and also little bits that I can manage to knock all over the floor. So that is all I'm going to do. I've got my piece of designer series paper. I'm going to go with this design as my my first layer. Centralise that on the front. You'll notice I've got another little strip here, and that is cut at 4.5 by 1/2 inch, and that's what I'm going to use to just pretty up the inside of the card. Now I'm just going to flip this over so that I'm using the opposite side to the side that I've used on the front. I quite like this little design. It just fits nicely into the 1/2 inch. Now my card is 4 inches and my strip is 4.5 inches, and there is a reason for that. I'm just going to put some glue almost along the whole of the 4.5 inches, and then I'm going to just pop that into the corner of the card, into the centre. Then I'm just going to trim the excess off. Now the reason I've done that is because if I cut this at exactly 4 inches and this measurement here was just very slightly out, then I could finish up with a little piece of white card which I don't want to be showing. So by cutting it slightly longer, I can then trim it to the exact size, and hopefully that will look a little bit more professional. So this is my card that I'm going to be doing some stamping on, and again I've chosen something that very simple but quite effective. It's the Dragonfly garden stamp set, and I'm going with one of the dragonflies. Now there is a coordinating punch that works with this Dragonfly stamp if you want to step up your design a little bit, and we're going to be looking at that again in another project later on. But I'm just wanting to get a feel of all the different colours, so I'm going to literally be stamping the different colours, the 5 different colours, onto this piece of paper. Now as I've got my soft succulent as the main colour going on with this card, I'm going to give that pride of place in the middle of the card. And then I've got my chamois handy. Rapidly running out of room. There we go. So by having that handy, I can just wipe off my stamp and move on to another colour. So we'll go with the polished pink this time. So this is just going to be a random design. So let's have the polished pink one coming down here. And we've got our evening evergreen. So perhaps we'll have this one going that way. At this point I might think about the actual sentiment that I want to add into that. Now I could go for, there's some nice sentiments in here. There's a thank you for your kindness, for a true friend, you are an inspiration, and may good things grow all year long. Or I could just keep it really simple, which is what I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to go with this little hello stamp from the Free as a Bird stamp set. The reason being that I will ultimately use this. If somebody wanted a copy of the new catalogue, then they get a copy of the catalogue and a pretty card from me. So I'll have one ready in my supplies, ready to send to somebody if they request a catalogue. And obviously if you would like a catalogue, if you don't currently have a demonstrator that you buy from in the UK, then if you would like a copy of the catalogue, then please use the contact me link that you'll find on the front of this video. Now again, I'm going to keep this with the soft succulent theme going. And I'm going to put my sentiment, I've not used that one for a while, so I'd better just check it out. I'm going to put that just down here. So we haven't had so far, let's clean my stamp. Probably not the day to decide what mixing the colours look like, is it? So we're going to have pale papaya going on down here. And finally we've got our fresh freesia. Let's pop that one there. So there we have a very simple card to put together, but it's featuring all of our new in colours. Now of course, me being me, I need some wink of Stella on it, so let's just do a little bit on the bodies. Not being too fussy, I'm just adding a little bit so that it just picks up the light. And then Friday is our rubbish clearance day. It sounds like the men have arrived to clear the recycling away. Perfect time to do a video, of course. Now I'm not going to sit and or make you sit rather through the colouring of all these Dragonfly. So what I'm going to attempt to do is pause the video. I'm going to colour the rest of them in so that you can see the end result, and then we'll just put the card together. So I have finished with the Wink of Stella. I'm sounding a bit vague here because I'm just trying to make sure that the video is still going round, because the times I've done this and discovered I've actually been talking to myself, it gets somewhat frustrating to say the least. So there you go, I have put Wink of Stella on each of the butterflies now, so I'm hoping you're picking that up on the camera, and it just adds that little bit of extra detail, but doesn't take a great deal of effort, which I'm all for that. And I'm going to just add one each of the little in colour gems. So I will stick with the small ones. So we put just in the centre of the body of the dragonfly. So we've got our soft succulent. This is how not to put gems on, really. I should use my pickup tool, but Much more fun to struggle, isn't it? Gives you more of a sense of achievement. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. So there's our fresh freesia, our evening evergreen going on there, or not, as the case may be. So the pickup tool is very, very useful, inexpensive to buy. If you've got better things to do with your time and you just want to get on with it, I would seriously recommend that. There you go, we're almost there. So pale papaya, and finally the polished pink. So I don't know about you, but I really, really love all of these colours. Normally when I see the new in colours, there's one or two that really stand out to me, but I just love all of these, so I'm going to really enjoy, I think, using all of them in the course of the next couple of years. Spot the deliberate mistake. There we go. So again, that's just added an extra layer of bling to my card, but a very simple card to achieve. So the final bit is to just attach that to the front of our card. Now you could add some stamping dimensionals if you want to give it that extra layer, and top tip, probably sticking those on after you've stuck this piece of card to the main card would be a good idea. It's easier to put the glue on. There you go. As I frequently say, I make these mistakes so that you don't have to. And if you can hear our doorbell, I will be very, very excited, because that means that my Stampin'Up order has arrived. Does this day get any better? There we go. So I'm just centralising that on the front. And there's the front of our card. There's the little strip in the middle, just so that it's a little bit pretty. Sorry, Jimmy's now shouting up the stairs at me, so just bear with me one moment. Yes, I do apologise. He's got somewhat confused because it's a flat package apparently, because it's paper, and it's quite a small order this time. He's well aware that I've put in a massive order, and I think he was expecting a massive great box to arrive, but that doesn't come until next week, so something else to look forward to. So where was I? That's our finished card, and as usual, let's just pretty up the envelope. So I'm just going to go back to my Dragonfly stamp. I think actually he's been missing out on since I've had this stand. He hasn't been doing my filming for me, so I think he's been missing out. Wanted an opportunity to appear in today's video. So I'm just going to put one on that corner and one on this corner, just so that it's got a bit of prettiness. I obviously haven't pressed down hard enough on this one, so let's just add trying to add a little bit of colour in there so that I can just blend in, so it's not obvious straight away that I've messed up the stamp of the Dragonfly. There we go. That will do. This is basically the way that I added my Wink of Stella to the rest of the card, so I'm not literally being very, very careful, but I'm just running it over the leaves like so. Now I'm not going to put any little gems on that because if it finishes up going through the post, if I don't use it to send with a catalogue, if I use it for something else and it goes in the post, then I think we can fairly say that, that the gems will come off. So there we go. Let's clear some of this debris away. That is our very simple stamping card, ready to be used. So I did say I would return very quickly to the ink pads, and feel free to fast forward this bit if you've seen this and heard this before. But if you're new to our Stampin' Up ink pads, there's a couple of things that are really, really useful on them. On the base, so you flip it over, you've got the name of the actual ink pad. So in this case it's Polish Pink. You see this little mark here, little arrow. If you just raise that up and pull it back. Now we've also got other languages for the colours. Obviously I'm wanting the English version, but the names are available depending on where you are in the world, so that we all know what our ink pads are called. But the really useful bit is this bit that's got nothing on it. So I'm just going to peel that off as well. Stick that on the side of my desk. Now, coming round to the front, the little strip with the name on goes just under the locking device of the ink pad there, so that when it's in your storage container, or if it's sitting on your shelf, and you can't really see if it's sitting on a sitting with another lot of pads, if that didn't have a label on it, you would have no idea what colour it was. So with the little label on there, you can automatically see the colour, so that's handy. But even more handy is this little bit, and this is why I left this to the end, because I can get in a mess. But you'll see inside there's this little groove in the ink pad, and the purpose of that is to just add this blank strip of colour. That went quite well. Something had to go right today, didn't it? Now that helps you to see when your ink pads are open what colour it is. Now it's fair to say that if you had it next to something like the Evening Evergreen, even I would probably struggle to get confused. But imagine having that alongside, I probably should have bought one in, but imagine perhaps your Real Red ink pad or your Melon Mambo ink pad. It's very easy when you're stamping away quite happily involved in your project to just get a little bit confused and stick your stamp into the wrong ink pad. So having these little areas where we've got a strip of the colour, it just makes it so much easier to see the colour that you're aiming to use. So that's basically all I wanted to say about the ink pads, and that is it basically. That is our in colours for 2021 through to 2023. Just before I go, there are a couple of ongoing promotions at the moment. There's a really good joining promotion. I'm going to put that back in the middle so you've got something pretty to look at. It's a joining promotion. I'll put a link to all the details of that on the front of this video, but it's a really good promotion which involves getting even more free stuff for your cost of your starter kit. And there's also another promotion on when you host a party, or in this day and age a virtual event, or just sharing the catalogue with friends, family, work colleagues, and it's all to do with the stamping rewards that you can earn, and if your order gets to a certain level you can earn additional stamping rewards up until, I think it's the 14th of June, but all the details for the promotion are available in a blog post that I've written, so I will put that, also the link for that, on the front of the video. You can also access my blog from the top of my YouTube channel screen. So that is it. As I said earlier, I've been working on some projects that I'm getting ready to share in my upcoming videos, so please come back and join me for those. If you've enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would also be appreciative of that. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Everything that I've used is a current product, not surprisingly, because most of it is the new in colours, but also the Dragonfly garden stamp set and the Free as a Bird stamp set that I've used. Although they have appeared in previous catalogues, I'm happy to say that they have carried over. So if anything's caught your eye and you want to check it out a bit more, then do please use the link to my online shop that you'll find at the front of the video. The blog post accompanying this video I'll also put the link to that at the front of the video. So I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me today. I will see you again very soon, but until then, do please look after yourselves. Take care. Bye for now.